But if we could ask you to grab a chair if you've got one. If not, we're going to get started. We're trying to put some more out as well. And first of all, good evening, and thank you to all of you for being here this evening. I'm Pat Rudder, the Chief Deputy County Administrator, and I'm just going to do a couple introductions out of the gate. And our County Administrator has joined us this evening. One of your neighbors, Joe Bruzzo. You want? Sorry, I didn't prep you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm one of your neighbors, first and foremost, Joseph Abruzzo. I live in Canyon Trails. I have since, I think, 2013. So everything going on here today, as your county administrator, it obviously affects me, myself, my family personally. It's so great to see so many of the groups here, BARC, COBRA, that represent us in the large umbrella HOAs. But I am your neighbor, and anything you ever need, do not feel free, always reach out. I am here, accessible. I know you're like, come knock on my door. Come knock on my door. We'll have coffee, and we'll figure it out. Pat Rudder is the Chief Deputy Administrator. He's going to go over some things with you to kick it off. I know Commissioner Sachs will be joining us, and we're here with a very good friend of the Western communities, Commissioner Greg Weiss. We have the county attorney's office is here. Whitney Carroll, who's the head of planning, zoning, and building, she's the director of it, is here with us tonight as well. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. I think this is very important to hear what is occurring. But most of all, I have to just say it one more time. I'm here for you. Anything you need, any opinions, any directions, just let's have a meeting. Let's talk about it. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Administrator. Just a little bit of short run of show. Going to have a little bit of information presented to you tonight, give you an opportunity then for any public comment. And I think a lot of you have availed yourselves of a lot of the information tables and staff members we have set up throughout the room. Hopefully you're finding a lot of good information in there, maybe answer some of those questions you might have. So that will be available to you as well. When we start public comment, we really want to wrap that up about 7:15 or so. So give you that opportunity.
Ed, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I forgot a very important introduction. One of the main reasons we are able to be here in this room today. If it wasn't, of course, for the Board of County Commissioners approving this incredible library and COBRA doing all the legwork to get it started. Our library director, county-wide, Doug Crane. Doug, if you could raise your hand, he's in charge of all the libraries throughout Palm Beach County.
Yeah, definitely, and I think this is such an incredible facility to have out in the Ag Reserve region. I want to acknowledge Kayla West from Mayor Baxter's office here this evening as well. Thank her for being here. Touched with you on run of show. I'm going to say this, and I think you see on all your flyers, you see throughout there the survey that we have available. Hit the QR code on that, take the survey. I think we've got over 400 responses was the last I heard. So far, we're here for more. So please share that with your neighbors, share that with your friends. It's there for you. That's another opportunity for your voice to be heard. Commissioner Weiss wanted to give him an opportunity as well if he had any words to say. Appreciate him being here tonight. He's over 7 years into his term and has seen more than his share of Ag Reserve items through the years as well. No one more familiar with these issues out here as well. So thank you for being here. QR code, can't say that enough. Take the survey, please do that. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Tweeshut, our planning director, who's going to give you a little baseline information and share some points with you tonight to get it kick-started before we move into public comment. So welcome, Twee.
Good evening. Again, my name is Tweeshut. I'm the planning director for the county, and I wanted to thank you so much for coming. I know it's a yucky day and everything, but hopefully tonight we will hope to get your comments, give you some exercises to do as well that will help us get input and to help us plan for the future and the growth of the Ag Reserve while still maintaining your quality of life and the lifestyle that you chose when you moved here. So with this, I have a brief presentation. I want to thank you again to our staff, the Ag Cooperative Extension, Lisa Amara, and all of the administration to make this happen. Okay, so again, the purpose why we're here is to get your input. And back in March, our Board of County Commissioner had asked staff to provide for a tour so that they could see and experience what you guys have right now. It's a very special place. We were also asked to do 2 public meetings, one in the day, one at night. Tonight is the one at night. There'll be another one that'll be on the 9th of June of this month. 12th. I'm sorry, twice. So sorry. And then with that, we will be bringing back the results of the comments that you have in the survey, and then also to answer 3 critical questions about policies that we need to make in the future. So with that, the 3 policies that are basically at hand are the commercial cap, we call it. There is a maximum square footage that are allowed to be developed in the Ag Reserve area. The second is the locational criteria. The Ag Reserve is such a special place that there's only a few development scenarios that could happen. So with any developed property, there's 60% that has to be preserved, and then 40% can be developed on. Then the third one is the preservation requirement. Once again, what is allowed right now are agricultural or uses supporting agriculture. So again, we will provide an overview of the Ag Reserve, and then again, give you some description of what the run of the show is for tonight in terms of these stations and why it's important for you to, go and talk to our staff, and then provide your comments in there, along with the survey online. And then again, there are 3 stations that are available for you to comment. Okay. The criteria, as I mentioned before, this is just a brief scenario of what the current standards are and the options the Board of County Commissioner has before them. As you can see, each of those criteria actually are very important for developers when they look and they want to come here to build. So I'll give you a moment just to look at that. But commercial cap, locational criteria, preservation requirements, and traffic. Okay, so we will need the first 3, we will need your input. Okay. Again, this is a snapshot that was presented in March of this year, and you can see a predominant part of the land has been in preservation. Okay. Most are privately owned. The county has owned some of them as well, so 61%. And there are remaining 427 acres, 2% left, that's not developed. And there are 126 acres that are pending approval. So total 22,000 acre. Okay, so the public survey, as it was mentioned by Patrick, there are 10 questions to inform us. Again, overview, do the current policies still effective? And does it serve the needs of the community? What type of services would you like to see if it's allowed? And then the last one is, what non-agricultural uses would you like to see in the preserve area? Once again, this survey will be up until the 26th of June. And then you can take the QR code. We'll put this same slide up again for you at the end so that you can have time. So take your time. You can take it now. You can tell your relatives, your neighbors to do it as well. So we're gathering input for that. No, by the way, it's 1 IP address per response. So there's no duplication. Right? Again, this is Station 1. Just as a quick overview, the county would like to see, or as part of the master plan, really to cluster the development in certain areas to free up the open space and spaces for agricultural use. That's why you see the 60%, 40% developed, 60% preserve. Again, in the commercial cap, there's over 1 million square feet that's capped. Again, that was back 20-something years ago when the population isn't the size. Right now, there's over 26,000 residents, and there's only 10,000 square feet left on the commercial, in the commercial cap. So some of these uses that you see, it's like when we talk, planners talk, it's like Morse code, PDD, DDD. You don't know it, but it's really what you see is mixed use, meaning residential and an office over ground floor retail or commercial. That's what we mean when we say mixed use. And it's usually a residential component as part of the development. Meisner Park, downtown Delray, downtown Liquid. Those are some of the images that you can see. City Place, those are the mixed use clustering and having a lot of the uses vertically on top of each other. It doesn't have to be that way, but it can be, separated. Commercial in one building and residential in another building. But on the site, there should be commercial and residential uses. So on that station, what we'd like for you to do, there are little dots. You can put where you think if a third or if the commercial cap is expanded or exceeded, and if there's more commercial available, where would you like to see that? That's the first station, right to my left here. Second station is commerce. You hear this a lot. Commerce was created back in 2022 to address industrial sites and needs. This, in particular, is not your traditional heavy industrial. An example is the district. How many of you know where that is? Right, okay. So that's an example of the district, and that is typically for low traffic generator and light industrial uses. But there are commercial uses that are allowed in there, like fitness center, things like that. Government center could be allowed. There are no caps to this future land use designation. Again, they still have to have 40, the preserve requirements are required also. Station 3, again, is we talked about the preservation area and what non-agricultural uses you would like to see in there. And then the way we review it as staff is how much preservation is needed for each of these development and what are allowed in those preservation areas. And that's just some of the uses: agricultural, avicultural, nurseries, equestrian. There are limited government services as long as they're adjacent to the development area. And then some water management tracts and utilities. And the last station I need to mention is really all the road improvements that the county is expecting to have in the area. So there are handouts for you to see the phasing. Our county engineer is here, Mr. David Ricks, is here for any questions regarding the road improvements. So with that, I'm going to leave that up for you, and I'll start, if the commissioner is okay, the comments. So again, if we ran out, they will be available at the Planning Division website tomorrow. So we will make those available digitally. Those are the smaller, really it's the smaller images of the boards you see. So we can make that available for you.
And Tweet, if I might just make sure that everyone signs in, because if you're on our list and your sign-in list and you're not already being contacted through our stakeholder list, we want to make sure that we have record of your name and address so that we can make sure that you're included in any future discussions or meetings that we might be having to go back to the board. So please make sure that you sign in and give us that information if you'd like us to share that with you.
We have a pretty robust list, but the more the merrier, so please make sure we do that. So with that, I think are we ready for the comments?
Yes, I don't think Commissioner Weiss, no comments, right? So
I just want to say glad to be with you tonight, and it's a good thing I showed up because it was my suggestion to Commissioner Sachs that we do this, so it would be a bad form if I had not been here tonight. But I think it's important that we come out to see you because I know it's difficult to get into the county commission chambers. Our meetings are always during the day, and I think it's important. We need to know where you see the future of the Ag Reserve. We represent you, and your voices are very important that we hear it. So glad to be with you tonight, and we'll be taking all this back to my colleagues as well. So everybody's going to hear this, even though they're not here tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner Weiss. And we are synthesizing, as Commissioner Weiss and Tweet and Patrick have said, we are synthesizing all of this information. The clerk is here recording this event and also the meeting next Friday. So we'll be taking all of this information and bringing it back to the board sometime in the future. July or August is kind of our target. So with that, we can start. If you filled out a public comment card, we'll call those names first, and then we'll go through those. And then I think we were going to try to break at 7:15 to give you an opportunity to go around the room and check out the displays and give us your comments for those items.
And please make sure you put your name on here and check, I wish to speak, because some folks didn't check that. We're going to look to have 2 minutes per comment. And if you haven't filled out a comment card and you would like to speak, please let us know. We will have staff with 2 microphones. They'll come when I call your name. If you'd like, we can just have them go to the speaker, and you can speak with those remote microphones, so you don't have to travel through the room. That's okay? All right. All right, first one up, Elizabeth Daniello. Raise your hands. Dorian will have, Dorian's coming. Okay, next after Elizabeth is Mike Atchison.
My main concern is about the roadways. So you're adding all of this extra commercial property. At the end of Acme Dairy, we got a big thing going up. So is there any thought that maybe Acme Dairy would be improved? And the other point was that in Canyon Trails, we only have one way in and out. So originally, when we first talked to GL Homes, they had said, they're talking about another way out. But then when we found out, oh no, there's no other way out. I mean, if you had some kind of disaster and everybody had to go at the same time, you might have some kind of problem. So I would like to know if anybody has thought about addressing that.
Thank you. David Ricks is here. The county engineer is here. Perhaps you can follow up with him in the back of the room. David, you're back there. And
let me address that. Excellent comment regarding Acme Dairy, specifically Canyon Trails. No disrespect to any of the other canyons, but we do not in Canyon Trails have a pass-through into Lyons Road. So when an emergency happens, we're stuck. I think we all know what it's like when school starts, when it's backed up, and we've had to deal with, thank God, because I know we're all excited about the new park, but even when some of the construction. So I live that every day with you. I just want to clarify, I've been county administrator for a little over 9 months, so new to the job. So a lot of the approval processes, things that were done by my predecessor. And by the way, it's all great things, as you know. So I don't want to take credit from an operations standpoint. Pat Rudder, the chief deputy, very instrumental in getting things done. David Ricks, I didn't see him in the back. He's the county engineer. I think David will tell you from the minute I got the job, I've been saying, what are we doing about Acme Dairy Road? David, why don't you come up here and address, if you don't mind, the widening, what you did. Rest assured, now that I'm in the position, since I know what we're dealing with, I have my eye on trying to improve it to make it better. The emergency situation is our biggest challenge. And what happens in an emergency that we're truly landlocked. From what I gather, or from what I know, this predates my time here, even in the community. The original plans were to have a road extend out and go onto Lyons Road from Canyon. Maybe Cobra could correct me if I'm wrong. But when they did the Valencia at the end of Acme Dairy, it shut it down. So that was a prior board. None of the commissioners that currently serve today voted to landlock us in, but that vote did happen decades ago, and we're stuck with it. David?
Thank you, County Administrator. Good evening. I am David Ricks, the County Engineer, Director of Engineering Public Works Department. And so speaking on the road projects that we've got planned, and I've got a handout on the back table, but just real quickly, we've got two major improvements on Lyons Road. The first one is scheduled to be bid this summer from Flavor Pig to Boynton Beach. That's about $21 million. It's going to be bid this summer, fall, be under construction probably by next spring. And then the next one is going to be from Atlantic to Flavor Pig. That's about $17 million. That'll be bid basically the summer 2027, and then under construction. It'll be widening from 2 to 4 lanes, so that'll be huge project. And then on Flavor Pig, you know, the Flavor Pig from State Road 7 to Lyons just was recently done a couple years ago. We're under design to extend Flavor Pig all over the Turnpike. That's a big capital project, about $50 million. We're going to coordinate with the Turnpike. We'll definitely be looking for state grants to help us to fund that project. But you're correct, with all this development, that the infrastructure, we're a little behind in terms of the capital dollars. And that's why Commissioner Sachs is a very big proponent about getting infrastructure in before we do any major capital improvement. But with the county administrator here looking at the long-term plan, you know, you've really got a great team here to looking at the future needs in terms of capital and infrastructure. And so that's where we're at today, but we're definitely looking to improve that process in the future. Anything else, sir? Okay.
So Mike Etchison is next. And after Mike, Dagmar Bross.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mike Atchison. I've been a grower in the Ag Reserve for the past 20 years. And one thing I hope that doesn't get lost in the discussion here tonight is the people that have lived under the Ag Reserves framework for the past few decades. As we look at possible changes moving forward, I think it's important to remember that many agriculture families and landowners accepted restrictions and limitations because they believed in the vision of preserving agriculture and open space in the Ag Reserve. If we're going to revisit the rules today, I hope the conversation isn't limited to what opportunities can be created, but also whether the people who have operated under those restrictions for decades deserve some consideration as well. The future of the Ag Reserve shouldn't just be about what gets built next. It should be about the people who help create what we have today. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dagmar. I have been a part of COBRA for the last 35 years. I live off of Boynton and Jog. I do not live in the Ag Reserve, but I have lived off of Boynton and Jog for 45 years, so I have definitely seen the changes. A lot of times people say there was no plan when we put the Ag Reserve together. Yes, there was. We only wanted to meet the needs of the people who live in the Ag Reserve. That's why they did 2 commercial centers, one on Boynton and Lyons and one on Atlantic and Lyons. I have driven through the one on Atlantic and Lyons. There is absolutely everything you could possibly need, from grocery stores to salt treatments to getting your eyelashes done. You have karate here, you have taekwondo here, you have tutoring center here, you have your daycare center here. It just gets really distressful when people start saying, well, we need more uses out here. We need a big Costco, or we need more mixed uses. You know, mixed uses where they just showed the picture where it's a 4-story building where we have shops underneath and apartments above it. We've had enough. The traffic on Boynton Beach Boulevard is already horrendous at several times during the day. You know, God bless the canyons, our family communities that live out here in the Ag Reserve. We have a middle school, an elementary school, a charter school. We did not get the counts in order to do a high school. So are my 2 minutes up? Oh, shit, good. I get to talk more. Anyway, it's just, we've been trying really hard to make a plan. Right now, the commercial cap is 1,015,000 square feet. We're almost at that commercial cap. Let's not break that commercial cap. We don't need any more commercial. The other topic that's the hot button right now is essential housing. Not everybody can afford $1 million home in the Canyons or in one of the Valencias. So the county has introduced what they called essential housing, and that's where they are proposing to build some apartments or some townhomes in the area. But again, they have a location criteria. They can only do it on Boynton Beach Boulevard up to a quarter mile west of Lyons Road. We don't want essential housing all over the place. Essential housing should be where there is an economic node, where there are jobs in place, where people can just go across the street and get a job. The only real economic node is Bethesda West Hospital. Sorry. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Next up is Steve Alper. And then after Steve Alper is David Scholson. So here's the microphone coming, Steve.
Hi. Yesterday I was driving on Lyons, heading north, and I saw a sign, Parkview Townhomes, 250 townhomes, directly north of Delray Marketplace. I don't know who put this sign up, but I was just told today that it was Pulte Builders that put this sign up. They had no right to do this. This sign should come down. And we don't need any more building like that. I do agree that we do need essential housing because of what Dagmar said. But you have to go through the proper process in order to do what they did.
No, thank you for that. You shared that picture with me. We'll be looking at that tomorrow. And the short story on that property is it was bought by the county with bond money a number of years ago, then sold to private property owner with a restriction that the county holds that it only be used for agricultural uses. They've asked and the board has directed us to look at valuations. The board has taken no action. There have been no changes made to it. So there are no approvals on it of any sort. Status of the land legally has not changed, but we will be following up with our board on that on the basis of direction. But to the point of having a sign and advertising for residential housing, we'll be looking at that tomorrow.
Okay, good evening. Thank you, Commissioner Weiss, for being here and all the staff. I'm David Schulson. I'm the Cobra delegate from Valencia Reserve. And I'm going to urge anyone from other communities, we're going to get the word out. I don't know if this room is going to hold enough for June 12th because we really didn't have a chance to get an email blast out throughout all the communities. I want to echo what Dagmar just said. At Valencia Reserve, I think I can speak for the community that we would never support another commercial. What's really happened is commerce in a roundabout way circumvents the commercial cap. The idea of a mixed use new category to circumvent the commercial cap is ridiculous because, as Dagmar said, you go through the canyons, you go through Delray Marketplace, you have everything you really need. And that was the idea, preserve what we have. Anyone who's been to some of the horse farms or the nurseries, they're entitled to keep going in their business. So our position, I can speak, we have one commissioner here and the staff, that the 2,000 people that live in a little over 1,000 homes at Valencia Reserve will not ever, at least in the immediate future, support any additional commercial development in the Ag Reserve.
Next up is Linda Weber. And then after Linda is Jonathan Gardinier. Did I pronounce that right? Gardinier.
Good evening, and especially to you, Commissioner Weiss. I really appreciate you being here and your suggestion of the tour. That's very important to me. My name is Linda Weber, and I am a resident of Valencia Reserve. The stretch of Boynton Beach Boulevard from State Road 7 to Turnpike's north entrance is one of the most overburdened corridors in all of West Boynton Beach. Along this short span lie two major intersections, Lyons Road and Acme Dairy Road, and 3 schools. This roadway is already operating at or beyond capacity. Adding more density without meaningful mitigation is not planning, it's negligence. You are already familiar with Valencia Reserve's concerns regarding the proposed essential housing at Boynton Beach Boulevard and Lyons Road. But this is no longer a single project. It is about the cumulative impact of a development surge that is funneling thousands of new daily trips into a roadway that cannot absorb them. In the coming months, the district will open, immediately increasing congestion. Additional developments, Valencia Grand, Valencia Del Mar, Mosaic Palms, Greyhawk Landing, and Logan Ranches, with both Mosaic Palms and Logan Ranches designating 25% of their units as essential housing, will add even more traffic. And soon, the Erickson Assisted Living Facility will begin construction, bringing residents, staff, service vehicles that will also rely on the same failing corridor. Every one of these projects shares a single unavoidable truth. Their traffic feeds directly into Boynton Beach Boulevard, a roadway that is already failing. To approve yet another high-density project without addressing this reality is to knowingly worsen safety, mobility, and the quality of life for tens of thousands of residents. This is why I urge you to look beyond the paperwork. Do not allow a technical checklist to override common sense. Do not allow cumulative impacts to be dismissed simply because they are inconvenient to quantify. In conclusion, I respectfully implore you to postpone any future development in the Ag Reserve until the infrastructure is sufficient to support it. This is not only reasonable, but it is also the responsible action to protect the community you serve. Thank you for your time and careful consideration.
Next, Jonathan Gardnier. And then after Jonathan is Barbara Roth.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here tonight and giving us a chance to speak. I've lived here for about 16 years. I moved from Pennsylvania, where I was a city councilman. I worked with our county commission because we face a lot of the problems that we're facing now here. Large swaths of land, farmland that was going to be developed. And we didn't know what to do. We had historical areas that need to be redeveloped. And we worked with all the towns, the stakeholders, and our county to come up with a master plan. And I think that's really what we need here. This hodgepodge of trying to fix this or that isn't working. The agricultural reserve I moved here into is dead. The people here aren't the ones who killed it, but that's just a reality we need to face. And the only way to really fix this, to have something that makes sense, is to step back and look at the whole region as a whole. What do we need? We need services. We do need commercial. We do need other housing. We have other needs in this area of Palm Beach County that we can serve in the agricultural reserve. And we also have to take care of our farmers. We have to be able to do this. And picking this land here or that land here, doing a swap there, doesn't work. But stepping back and looking at the area as a whole, we have an opportunity to go through and design something that's going to make sense for where we are now, not where we were 30 years ago. Because right now, that's what we're operating under. How the area was 30 years ago. There were no canyons. There were no Valencias. We didn't have any of this. And while we had good intentions putting this forward, working with our agricultural partners in the original Ag Reserve, things have changed. Our needs have changed. The population of Palm Beach County has changed. And we have an opportunity right now to have this land work for everybody in the county and everybody who lives in the agricultural reserve. So I would encourage the board to talk with the top stakeholders in the area, talk with the farmers, talk with the people who live here, and see what we actually need and put forth an entire master plan for the agricultural reserve that makes sense for the next 30 years, not the past 30 years. Thank you.
So after Barbara Roth will be Barry Fretson.
Thank you. Good evening. Dagmar, whom you met earlier, was president of COBRA 23, 24 or so years ago. I'm the current president. I'm Barbara Roth. A few misconceptions. Cobra is not just the Ag Reserve. I want to make that clear because there are some distortions, untruths on some of your neighborhood posts. So for clarity, Cobra started on Military Trail 45 years ago. We're celebrating that anniversary next week. And thank you to those of you who will be with us. We appreciate that. Cobra started with 7 communities, and we have spread west to cover 55 square miles. Were we to incorporate, and we're not going to, were we to, we would be the largest by parcel count, according to Dorothy Jacks, the property appraiser. We would be the largest in Palm Beach County. We choose and delight in being part of unincorporated Palm Beach County because of our commissioners. I was on the bus tour today, and it was enlightening. It was wonderful. I'm grateful that Commissioner Sachs and the commissioners participated, and there were 3 buses. It was an all-day tour, and it was instructive and I think clarifying for many people. But the important thing, one thing that we heard, was that the legacy farmers, those people who are still working the land, want to continue to do that, as do their children. And it's inspiring to hear that. We know that there are equestrian uses that are gems. That's what makes Palm Beach County unique and special. My problem with a survey like this survey, with all due respect to the county, is it doesn't have a box that says enough. It says, we're going to give you more, but tell us what that more should be. And I'm hearing from many people, not just in Cobra communities, we have 107 HOAs from Military Trail, and believe me, our members in Military Trail care about the people out here. I don't live in the Ag Reserve. Dagmar doesn't live in the Ag Reserve. First Vice President Debbie Murphy, raise your hand. She lives way over on Military Trail, but we all care about the Ag Reserve, just as many of you here signed the petition to help our neighbors to the east in opposition to annexation. We stand as one area of concerned and active voting advocates in Palm Beach County. So I stress that we are here always to support the county. I'm a Florida girl. I grew up in Florida. Dagmar's been here 45 years. Her family were farmers. Let's protect what we have while understanding that growth can be good growth. It can meet our needs, but we don't need an introduction of uses that were never intended. Thank you.
Neil Ambrosio, and then after Mr. Ambrosio is Ieti Sykes, or I'm sorry, just.
You may have missed the name.
Oh, okay.
You called me earlier.
You
called me
Mr.
earlier.
Fedson?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Fedson.
Shall I go now?
Yes, you can go now.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Weiss, staff members, I'm Barry Fredson. I live in the Reserve. Thank you all for the hard work you do. I see what goes on. You're taking care of an incredibly rich and good county, rich not in money. But sometimes when you look at the big picture, it's easy to miss the small part. So I just want to bring to your attention a very small part. It's about a half a block from here, Boynton Beach Boulevard. If any of you are out there in the morning, you'll realize that from one end by 441, only to get to Lyons Road is somewhere between 5.5 and 7 minutes. The traffic signal changes 18 times. It keeps stopping traffic. You have traffic from the school emptying onto Boynton Beach Boulevard, which literally stops more traffic. If any of this is in doubt, there was a drone video made about 6 weeks ago. I think everybody should have it, and if not, you can get it. I think we sent it to the commissioners and others. And if there's any doubt that the drone video was accurate, I refer you to the Florida Department of Transportation. Put out a survey, April 2026, 2 months ago, that clearly indicated that this strip up here is D minus, and at some parts of the day is F. It is already failing. And just because you can check off the boxes doesn't lend credence to the fact that you will be dumping more traffic into a situation that's already failing. We appreciate what you do. Don't do this to us. Thank you.
Neil Ambrosio. And then Iet Sykes. Ms. Sykes.
Hi, Neil Ambrosio, Bark and Canyon Lakes. First of all, for the trails folks, you're going to get a little lane on Acme Dairy, courtesy of the developer who's digging all that dirt. So I think they're going through the process now, but we pushed them to add a relief lane because you guys are stuck in trails. So my understanding is that's working through the process and it's happening. And also they just have to check with some utilities moving. And also to the president of Canyon Trails HOA, we have agreements executed with lakes, I believe Isles and Springs, that if there's a road closure or an emergency, we have a process where our gates can open and you guys can cut through Canyon Lakes. So just wanted to put that out there. I like what we did today because we got to tour the Ag Reserve, and I talked a lot to farmers and I talked a lot to equestrian people, and what it showed me is we're not really as far apart as everybody thinks we are. The farmers want to continue to farm, but they also want services. They need housing for their labor. I agree with what Jonathan said. The plan that was cut 30 years ago was probably a good plan 30 years ago. Maybe it isn't a good plan now, but people are out here. There's a commercial cap, but there's no residential cap. We moved a bunch of people into the area, families 55 and older, families that are just trying to start out that would love a diversity of housing product, and we need to provide for that. A diversity of housing product was always contemplated in the original plan. It hasn't been built, but it was always contemplated. And the last thing I would say is I think the people that live out here, everybody should have an equal spot to say, hey, this is what we want. And everybody's probably not going to get what they want. But you have farmers that have been out here for years. You have generational landowners that have been out here for years. Some of them want to sell. Some of them want to continue to farm. Some of them, I don't know, maybe they want to build a house. But everybody should have a seat at the table. There's enough horsepower in the room. There's enough smart people in Cobra and Bark and the Alliance of Del Rey and West Boca. Every landowner I talked to today said the same thing. The current rules don't serve us. We got to make some adjustments. So let's all get in a room and make some adjustments and see if we can come up with a plan, to your point, that works for the next 30 years. So thank you.
And I'm going to piggyback. I have to agree with Neil. I've been in this community for almost 20 years. I grew up in Miami-Dade, and we all know what the traffic is like down there. Everyone seems to be, their biggest issue is traffic. But 5 minutes off of going from Boynton Beach Boulevard and 441 to Lyons isn't going to take that much time off of anyone's life. We have a lot of young, growing communities. We need the services out here. The schools are not going away. I have 6 kids, and they all have gone and come back. I have one who's about to come home from college. I want her to be able to buy and be in the community and live here with us and be able to afford these things. We have to drive all the way across town to go to Costco. Why? We go up the street to Wellington. They're building a beautiful new area with nice restaurants. We have Trader Joe's, all the things that we need out here. And I hear the issue about the traffic, but if you just slow down and smell the roses, that traffic isn't going to take that much time off anyone's life. And I agree with Neil. We need to all get into a room so that everybody can have something.
All right. Next speaker is Jonathan Spatz. There's two more after Mr. Spat. And then Janet Lachowski. And then the final speaker is Lance Phillips.
Hi, Jonathan Spatz, Canyon Lakes. I'm going to piggyback on the comments on Boynton Beach Boulevard. What is being done to address the southbound Turnpike on-ramp where there are deadly crashes on almost a weekly basis? I believe the traffic issue on Boynton Beach Boulevard starts there in the morning. That on-ramp backs up beyond Acme Dairy. And when you add the trucks, I know you said the district is mixed use. I saw at least one building that has a bunch of loading docks, so you can't tell me there aren't going to be tractor trailers now. So that on-ramp is, that left-hand turn when you're going eastbound on Boynton Beach Boulevard has to be addressed. So has the county looked into that yet, or are they just waiting for more accidents at that intersection?
Okay. Next speaker, Janet Lachowski, or Jeanette. Oh, hang on. Okay, so sorry. Is David? David Ricks, David? We're getting the county engineer to, or he's coming up to answer the question.
All right, David, if you have the mic, just use the mic.
David?
How is the southbound Turnpike on-ramp being addressed? Because when you're going southbound on Boynton Beach Boulevard,
There's a mic. There should be another remote mic for him. For David.
Take the mic away from me.
It doesn't work.
Well, so you're talking about the turnpike traffic?
The state road, David.
The state road. Right. Well, you addressed some valid concerns. So Boynton Beach Boulevard is a state road. Of course, the Turnpike is a Turnpike Authority. So I will look into that, and I'll reach out to both of those authorities and have a conversation in terms of looking at all the issues and come up with a short-term plan and a long-term plan. But thank you for bringing that to our attention. We'll definitely take a look at that.
Yeah. So to clarify how we're not in charge of that.
Correct. So Boynton Beach Boulevard is a state road, so FDOT is the authority. Of course, there's a separate Turnpike Authority, but the Turnpike Authority and DOT also work together as a joint partnership on major combining traffic issues. But thank you for bringing this to my attention. We'll take a look at that because all the traffic signals within the county, except for Town of Palm Beach and City of Boca Raton, we manage the DOT signals and on our footprint and also the city signals. So anything that affects traffic in terms of traffic congestion, we're definitely involved as a partner with the state. But thank you for bringing that to attention. We'll definitely take a look at that.
And sir, while you brought up the Turnpike, I was going to save this for the end, but I did want to address everybody on an issue, especially Canyon Trails and some of the Valencias that are closer to the Turnpike. Commissioner Sachs has been relentless fighting for you with the Turnpike Authority to make sure with the expansion of the Turnpike, we get large sound and security walls up along between a little north of Boynton Beach Boulevard and down all the way actually through Boca. She has had the full team out here, including the contractors, that the state DOT, the Turnpike's its own authority, and they've walked our communities. When I say walked, they came into them all. They went along the Turnpike, so she has been excellent in trying to secure that for us, and I know it means a lot to many of you, and we're working on that as well. Thank you.
Jeanette Lachowski.
Hi, Jeanette Lachowski. I live in Palmettos Estates, just north of here. Just to give you a little bit of background, I'm a transportation engineer. I do a lot of work for the county as well as FDOT. I also have a background in real estate, so I've done site development. So I do like to think that I have a pretty good handle on things. So what I'm calling upon is to see if we could get maybe a master plan for the area, similar to what we've done in Westlake and Arden, is more of a master plan, because I do echo the concerns that what had been created 25 years ago is no longer applicable to us. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing is we have the ag reserve in place, but what's happening is slowly, it's just being chipped away at by projects that come through with the warehouses, with the central housing, with the residentials. It's slowly being chipped away at with no real vision for the future. So I encourage you and I urge you to please come up with a plan for the future that fits today's needs. And also consider that there's many different voices in the community. I know that there are some more vocal than others, but kind of take a pulse of, are all recommendations coming from one community in particular? Because that's what I'm seeing. It's a lot of the same from the same community, when other communities also have different concerns. My concern specifically is just the warehouses, the self-storages that are all just popping up, the medical offices, the light commercial usage, and it's kind of a way to circumvent the original intent of the ag reserve. So that's one thing. The second thing I would say is regarding the survey. I feel like the responses that are available in multiple choice, they're kind of forcing you to go one way. I don't necessarily, I'm not saying that there should be a box that unfortunately says enough, but I think other ideas and other perspectives should be given. So really, when you're looking at those responses, if we could maybe hone in and see different point of views, please. And I think that's it. Yeah, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Last speaker we have is Lance Phillips.
First, I'd like to thank the commissioners, Cobra, and all the residents that appear here. I moved into Palm Beach County 9 years ago. Since then, well, when I first moved in, I asked, what's going to happen across the street from Valencia Bay? I was told nothing. That is dedicated land. Then we have the Sound. Then we have the Grand. Then we have Del Mar, all owned by GL. When you go north on Lyons Road, also GL. These communities do not have enough parking. The bay does not have a second entrance out. Now, the real concern that I have is we planned for tomorrow, and we allowed all of this. Why didn't we put the roads in first? It appears to me that we do things backwards. And some of this, I absolutely acknowledge were not your fault, that these plans were made years ago. In the Bay, there is 582 homes. There are 167 parking spots and 6 handicap spots in a 55 and older community. That has to stop. because each year more and more people that are moving into Palm Beach County are becoming more and more disabled. I would like to thank you for putting in engine company number 49. I know that Bethesda West is supposed to put on 400 beds in that facility. We cannot handle what's going on in this county. And I'd like to thank you for your listening. Again, all the commissioners, COBRA, and all of the people of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I wanted, if everybody could indulge me for a brief moment, I just want to recap a couple things. As county administrator, I hear you. Boynton Beach Boulevard traffic. I think it's an F minus 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 at the times, not just a solid F. I live it every day. Most importantly, when it comes to traffic, was what you said, sir. I'm sick of seeing the new wreaths out at the Turnpike entrance. And Commissioner, not only is it backed up, but what happens, you have aggressive drivers that it's a single left turn lane and they try to get around everybody and cut off. And I could go on and on about it. But again, I live it, so I see it, and that's a good thing that I see it. I will take a look at the survey and see how it lays out. Acme Dairy, that's a great update by Neil on the potential relief. And yes, the traffic, but it's those times where if we're landlocked in an emergency, that's the greatest problem. I hear you as far as a master plan, looking at the overlay, and I believe that is Commissioner Sachs's full intention for today, that she wanted to hear everything to see as the district commissioner of how she was going to move forward with a proposal at taking a holistic look. You have incredible community leaders here, and I implore you to please get in a room, work together, bring us some ideas, bring the commissioners, especially from more than administration, some ideas. But I'll have discussions with the commissioners about that. You brought up roads a lot and services a lot. I will tell you financially, the number one issue that I have as your administrator, that I work for the board, and actually let me take a step back to briefly. I know many of you know this, but I just want to be clear so you know how our government structure is set up. We are obviously an unincorporated Palm Beach County. So the Board of County Commissioners are basically your city council and mayors as well. There are 7 county commissioners, all with equal power. The mayor position is a ceremonial position that rotates. So Mayor Baxter currently has no more power than Commissioner Weiss. They are very much equal. They hire a county administrator, which I am your new county administrator, to run the operations of the government. They make the decisions, they direct me, and in return I direct the staff on what to do and how to do it and get the job done for what they decide the policy is. But we run all your services. We're the operators of your services. Thank you for the shout out on our new fire station. COBRA was the precipitous of that as well. I want to let you know, let me go back. Roads, our roads construction costs are skyrocketing. And you are correct. The county did not keep up with the administration, will say, not the commissioners, because did not keep up with the demand, but truthfully, no one saw 2020 coming and the explosion of growth. We weren't set up for it. But now with inflation and the cost of goods and services specifically for road and construction have just are overwhelming. So my number one heartache and my number one, I would say, most difficult part of my job right now is getting these roads built or refurbishing and upkeeping them, and the cost and what you are providing to us in tax dollars. And that's what I wanted to get to, because again, I heard service and services. And Commissioner, I hope you don't mind if I talk about what we're facing.
Please do.
So Tallahassee yesterday put on the ballot the property tax cut. this $250,000 property tax cut. I want to put this in perspective. I operate over 30 departments, including engineering, roads and bridges, planning, zoning, and building, on a bucket of $609 million. That's my budget to run these departments. If that passes, I'm just educating, I'm not campaigning one way or another. I know many of you might be excited about a reduction in your property taxes. If that passes, in 24 months, I go from a $609 million operating budget. We lose, according to Dorothy Jacks, our property appraiser who put it out publicly, just shy of $400 million. Palm Beach, our fire department loses just shy of $200 million. So I hear services, I hear roads, I hear all these things. I will tell you, there is not, that I have uncovered in my short amount of time, waste, fraud, and abuse. We are making some reductions in many of our departments. I believe I'll be delivering, you'll hear next Tuesday, a plan that I will be telling the commissioners I can run our departments at. Actually, it will be the largest cut, voluntary cut, that won't disrupt services in any noticeable way whatsoever. But I will tell you that this property tax initiative will change county government, local government as you know it. Our parks, our libraries, even if they're funded by a bond, I have to fill those positions. We have to upkeep those parks. We have to put in those new positions, just like our brand new park here. This is serious stuff. I'm not one, I know some of you maybe don't know me, I don't operate in a world where the sky's always falling. I like many of you, Cobra, Neil, definitely Commissioner Weiss, we try to figure it out. This will be a change of the way we do business, and then you will be back very upset that things are lacking, that there's weeds in the median, that we're not upkeeping, and then I don't want to sit here and say, call the governor. So what's on the ballot may save us, including me, personal money, but it's not going to benefit services, roads, and the number one reason why we are the premier county in America, the incredible county when we drive around, and the reason why many of you moved here and bought homes. So is there any questions that I can answer? Yes, sir.
As we're all over, most of us here are over age 60, so we believe in dragging it in the FBI. Just the facts. This is from Bloomberg Law. I am Jim Dawson. I live in Palmettos. So the facts are from Bloomberg Law, which you're talking about. The impact on the state of Florida in 2027, a loss of $4.6 billion for the state of Florida. In 2028, $8.4 billion worth of loss. And it's going to increase every year because it's based on inflation rate. So the $250,000 exemption is based on inflation. So it's going to go every year. We're going to lose more. So the question I have really for the commissioner, we've heard it, is the master plan. We're going to lose revenue if this passes. Doing piecemeal isn't going to work. And when I say by master plan, it's almost like two versions of a master plan. A plan if this passes, and a plan if it doesn't. And right now, we don't know.
Yes, sir.
So going through the questions of 10 boxes or whatever, without knowing how this is going to impact, is like us trying to guess what the future is when we don't know what the numbers are. And I appreciate what you're doing, but right now, you're underselling the amount of impact we're going to have. It's worse than what you think.
Oh, it's not worse than what I think, sir. I appreciate those numbers. So let me be clear on why I have to choose my words extremely carefully. The state of Florida passed into law that we, your county government, cannot campaign. We cannot advocate. I have to be very careful how I choose my words in violation of the law. Yes, you can. Yes, sir. Oh, Commissioner Weiss.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, County Administrator. First off, I want to thank you all for being here tonight and sharing your thoughts and sharing that with me. And as we said, all this information is going to come back to the entire board. Couple things that I heard tonight, though, that I just wanted to review with you. You know, people asked about why aren't the roads done? Why weren't they done, you know, at the time you do the construction? And the state of Florida, with their infinite wisdom, got rid of what was called concurrency. And so it changed from concurrency, meaning that when a developer developed something, they also had to build the infrastructure to support it at the same time. That got changed, and we went to something called proportionate share. So instead of actually doing the work, they would pay a portion of what their portion of this upgrade might be. Well, you don't have enough money to finish the project till everybody pays. And that's what we're dealing with here. And it's not just here in the Ag Reserve, it's all over the state of Florida. The other thing I wanted to say, and on behalf of Commissioner Sachs, or in support of Commissioner Sachs, she has been and is an amazing advocate. I get to sit next to her. She's an amazing advocate for you all, for her entire district. Sometimes I'm wondering if the speech is going to end, but she really is and concerned and supportive of your positions, as we all are for the districts that we represent. But you have no better commissioner than Commissioner Sachs, and you should be delighted that you have her sitting up on the dais, being your voice to the entire board. Absolutely. She deserves a round of applause. She really does. So, again, just thank you. And to this issue with taxation, we are not barred from the same rules because we're elected. And I will tell you, I'm not saying it's going to be Armageddon, but what they are proposing, if it does pass, it will significantly change our lives and lifestyle here in Palm Beach County and throughout the state of Florida. And once this is done, it's going to be very difficult to undo it. And things that are on there, they have determined not only, you know, how much money we'll collect, they're telling us how we're going to spend it. And that means things like parks, like social services, like the events that we do. All those things, they're not in there for us to be able to fund. So, library is also included, by the way. So that this is things you need to know, and I'm sure, you know, as we go through this process, we're going to get information out to you. But I, for one, I will not be supporting it. I love this place. I love the lifestyle. I chose to live here because of how beautiful it is and how well upkept it is. And I will not be personally supporting it. You know, I'd love to get a tax break. I agree. I mean, I understand people are struggling. I understand that. But without a plan on how you're going to continue to be able to do this, to me, that's just reckless.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. And I will say this, because I work for all seven. We really have an incredible board. They look out for our county like nothing I've ever seen. And with that said, we have another commissioner that joined us, Commissioner Bobby Powell Jr. And the majority of commissioners have come out today between the tour and tonight to just see our Western community, even though they aren't elected in the district, and I think that speaks a lot. And Commissioner Powell, if you wanted to say a few words, please, the mic's always yours. If not, okay, he's okay. Well, let's give it up for Commissioner Powell for joining us. Are there any other questions while you have us? Yes, ma'am.
What's your time frame and next steps?
For what?
For the survey, for making decisions on the survey.
You got it? Good. Whitney?
Yeah, our plan is to take the information that we're gathering, synthesize it, and then report back to the board. We're hoping for July. Right now, July is a very heavy month for other other things, but our goal is July. So, but we will be notifying, of course, all of you when we do bring something back to the board.
And will that be discussed in like a county commission meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Publicly, yes, yes. Yes. Right now, tentatively, we've scheduled it for July 14th, which is the workshop, the Board of County Commission workshop. So tentatively, it's scheduled for then, but I don't want to make any promises until we actually had a very good response rate, so we're very excited, and it sounds like we're going to have really good data to bring back to the board. And of course, these meetings are very helpful as well, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Yes, sir.
Or any other builder or commercial property is building something, they should be responsible for the roads, not us.
So this, sir, so exactly what Commissioner Weiss addressed, state handicapped us for that. And let me tell you, with the property tax cut, if it does occur, I don't know how our board looks at approving certain types of projects when we're not going to be able to recuperate any funds from them in order to build the roads and the infrastructure needed. So they would be approving projects that we wouldn't be able to afford. So it goes deeper, and we'll talk more education-wise as this moves on.
I appreciate it, and I know that you guys do work for us, and it shows. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Yes, ma'am.
So I guess I come from the community that has a little more influence because a lot more of us are showing up and care about what's going on. But I do hope that all the farmers, the workers there, and other people that are finding themselves priced out of Palm Beach County. I volunteer over at the soup kitchen. We have a lot of essential workers that come through there. We have a lot of full-time employees that come through there needing assistance. We have a lot of retirees that are getting priced out of Palm Beach County coming through there for assistance. If we're looking to find out where do we need the essential housing to go, because maybe the hospital is not the only place that needs to hire essential workers, that might be a place to start, the soup kitchen or Caridad, to find out what are the other areas within the county that we need to place essential housing. It's just a thought.
Thank you. Good, nice comment. All right. Any other questions? Even if it's not on the yes, ma'am.
My name is Roberta Edelson Kane, and I live at the Reserve. When I moved here 12 years ago, there was a sign on the corner of Boynton Beach Boulevard that said, "This will be a 4-lane road." It's 12 years later, and it's not. I understand that there are plans to widen Lyons Road, and certainly funding is an issue, and the change of the law, et cetera, et cetera. But the one thing I cannot understand, given that people are concerned about people going around you on the turnpike and cutting you off and having fatal accidents, that's happening on Lyons Road right now. And now the extension, the expansion of Lyons Road is going to be in 2 parts. I don't understand why you would widen one and then have to make a merge into 1 lane. If that isn't an accident waiting to happen, I'm not standing in the library today.
David, are you still with us?
Sorry.
If you can walk through, and I think it's important,
Sure.
Lyons Road.
So let me address that. So there's, like you just indicated, it's 2 phases. We got a phase that's going to be bid this fall, which is from Flavor Pick to Boynton Beach Boulevard, 2 lanes to 4 lanes. and that'll be under construction by next spring. Then the next section would be from Atlantic to Flavor Pick, 2 to 4 lanes. When you're going from 2 to 4 lanes back to 2 lanes, there'll be a transition period. So it won't be like automatically just going to be going from 4 to 2. There'll be a transition period. The reason we did not do all at the same time, it takes a while to design roads of that nature, all the utilities, and so we wanted to do it in sections so we can get some of the improvements out there and get it underway. And so waiting to getting it all designed, you're talking about waiting another 2 more years. And so one of the biggest push from Commissioner Sachs is to get the road infrastructure projects on the plan and start doing the work as soon as we can. And so when we get to those transitions, we'll make sure it's done safely per the state specs when we transition from a 4-lane roadway to a 2-lane roadway. So we do it per our state standards. But I understand your concern, but we'll make sure we address all of those. But we're still on par to start the bidding that project from Flavor Pick to Boynton Beach by this fall, and then it'll take a couple months to get it to the board and be under construction by next spring, and then it'll be about a 2-year project, and then the other phase from Atlantic to Flavor Pick be out to bid a year from now. Yes, sir.
I'm just going to add one more point to that. That is a very long run from Atlantic to Boynton. If we bid that out as one big group, there are very few companies with the capacity and the pricing we would get on it. We're facing that in other roads, and as the administrator talked about, our pricing on roads is through the roof. We're looking to get it done as quickly as possible, safely as possible, but also financially responsible as possible. So for a variety of reasons, it has taken a while, no doubt about it. A lot of work to get to it, but we're there now. We're at the finish line.
And I meant what I said, you know, we're going to see what happens in November, but if we have these massive cuts, you will be seeing delays from operations from our side on administration. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And truth be told, this just happened last night. So you're literally. Just so you know, Commissioner Powell went up as a former senator. He has Senate floor privileges to advocate his concerns about the cuts, if that would come. So, any other questions? Yes, Neil.
Excuse me, the mic. Lyons Road, north of Boynton Beach Boulevard, where cobblestone comes out. The Wawa, there's a lot of, I mean, if you could take a look at it, I think, or Equus, but a signaling there would probably.
That U-turn, when they come out of Wawa and they make the U-turn,
Gotcha. I'll say, David.
I just did it today.
You've got the best on-the-ground person that you can have. Hear what you're saying. I'll say, David, the walk-up, always looking at roads, but hear what you're saying. Another one to take a look at.
Thank you all for coming.
Wait. I have one more question.
I just wanted to, my personal email address is jabruzzo@pbc.gov. That comes directly to me, doesn't get lost in the sphere. So email me, I'll call you back with anything you need.
We have a cap on commercial. Is there a way we can get a cap on commerce? I think we have enough big square concrete buildings in our ag reserve.
Hear you, Dagmar. That would be one that would need to be adopted in the comprehensive plan to choose a like piece. Survey, include that as one of your comments or questions. We'll present that to the board.
Yeah, just to add, the 10th question on the survey, you can list whatever you think the board needs to know. So the 10th question is an open question for you.